Welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning into this exclusive pre-launch event for ASSIA's brand new work from home platform called EQUIPE. My name is Klaus Hetting and I'm the CEO and chairman of Wi-Fi Now and also host of this event today. We're going to get into all the details about this remarkable new product in just a moment. We have all the right ASSIA folks here to tell you about it. So what you should know is, of course, is that the enterprisation of the home is the ISP technology megatrend of the year for obvious reasons, with so many folks still working from home. So what you will see from ASSIA today is exactly, I think, what ISPs need to address the work from home opportunity. So the program for today will be roughly about an hour long, and it'll run roughly like this. First, John Chofi, the CEO and chairman of ASSIA, will talk about his vision for what is really a new market segment created by this platform. After that, we'll get deeper into the thought leadership and market strategy behind EQUIPE with Untitled, ASSIA's Chief Strategy Officer. Then we've got a couple of great guests with us today from Citrix and from CenturyLink. They will join us for a wider panel discussion. And we'll also have Phil Bednarz, ASSIA's Executive VP of Engineering, here to unveil some of the platform's secret sauce. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with Tunchai. Once again, we're going to talk about the partnership options and ecosystem aspects of this new platform. So a lot of great information and great insights coming up. And I can promise you this platform is nothing like anything you've seen before. I know because I did get a sneak peek at it last week. So something special is really coming up here. So to kick us off, I'd like to introduce ASSIA's founder, CEO and chairman, Mr. John Chofi. John is a 35-year veteran of the DSL industry. He's professor emeritus at Stanford University, I think for nearly as long, I think more than 30 years. And he has won numerous prestigious awards for his contributions to technology and industry. He has published hundreds of academic papers, and he is here with us right now to introduce to us ASSIA's latest innovation. John, it's great to see you, and we're excited to be part of this. And first of all, we're excited to learn more about your vision for this new segment that you're effectively creating. John, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Klaus. Hello, everyone. I'm John Chofi, Chairman and CEO of ASSIA Inc. We welcome you all to ASSIA's EQUIPE product pre-launch here today. And perhaps it's appropriate that we're all participating virtually, because ASSIA's new EQUIPE product will indeed help us all to work more productively, collaboratively, and of course, remotely. But first, a few words about ASSIA Inc. You may not know it, but ASSIA may well be helping your internet connection right now. If your internet connection runs smoothly, perhaps we're there. And if not, you may need us. Since ASSIA's Stanford spin-out inception 17 years ago, ASSIA's goal has been the use of our significant software artificial intelligence capabilities to improve your internet connection's reliable speed. This reliable speed is sometimes called your throughput. ASSIA's full name is Adaptive Spectrum and Signal Alignment, and ASSIA's artificial intelligence technologies do very much so align your signals and adapt your spectrum to make your throughput better. ASSIA does this for over 100 million connections around the globe that serve over 500 million internet users and things at roughly 40 major internet service providers. ASSIA is also my wife and co-founder's first name. ASSIA Inc. product names often reflect her French heritage, like EQUIPE, as we will see. Now back to EQUIPE. The global pandemic causes many of us to work from home, especially now depending more on our internet connections. For instance, pre-pandemic, only 6% of employees worked from home. As the pandemic arrived, that grew overnight to 50%. Many employees' successful work from home experiences have led to expectations that over 30% will continue to work from home significantly, even after vaccines are found. Now, ASSIA's huge global footprint of connection data tells us that downlink use is up 30 to 50% since the pandemic, and uplink is up even more, as high as 50 to 100%. Now, while some internet service providers have made heroic efforts to try to address this problem, there are still issues. And for instance, my other employer, Stanford University, had a survey of 6,000 students in the second quarter, the spring quarter this year, all of whom were working from home or learning remotely, if you will. 85% said they were affected negatively by working at home. And 1 out of 6, so 1,000 out of the 6,000, believed that the internet connection not functioning properly was the major source of their difficulty. For employers, it's even worse, especially collaborative video conferences. If one employee on a video conference has a problem and no one can hear them, they have to repeat themselves, that's a productivity loss for all of the employees. Or if they have to restart the conference call again, that's a productivity loss. Or even a more mild case of the employee turning off their video so that their audio hopefully works better, can lead to the absence of the ability of managers and other employees to see if they're disengaging from the conversation, which is a productivity loss as well. Which brings us to the name EQUIPE. EQUIPE, which is pronounced équipe in French, means team. So a group of employees collaborating productively is a team, and so whence the name. In English, EQUIPE means, of course, to empower someone. So we're empowering the employees to be able to work more productively. Now, there are other things beyond conference calls that affect the productivity as well, which are file upload, download limitations, and they are also impacting our productivity. So how is ASSIA going to do this? Well, through ASSIA EQUIPE's new invention, which we call WorkPut. WorkPut measures the employee's productivity value component that relates to their internet connectivity. WorkPut is similar to, but not the same as throughput. ASSIA EQUIPE adaptively learns WorkPut from the data that we collect. ASSIA then reports and optimizes WorkPut for individual employees, employee groups, and of course the employer itself and their productivity. What type of data do we collect? Well, there will be real-time indications, thumbs up for everything's working, thumbs down for video conference participants, and they can apply that to a participant who is actually having difficulty or they're having difficulty hearing them. There are also video conference exit scores that are used, and management's evaluations, as well as employees' evaluations and other metrics that a company will use to evaluate its productivity. Now, ASSIA's EQUIPE correlates these measures against electronic measures like packet losses, outages, congestion, signal levels, and other indications that tell us that the electronic nature of the link is not functioning as well as it could. EQUIPE then consequently will tune the connection controls, including work from home devices flow prioritization, which allows us to prioritize the work from home signals, as well as the use possibly of a second connection when necessary to improve the workput. Now, EQUIPE will generate a new revenue stream for ASSIA, for our internet service provider customers who are looking for such new revenue streams, because we believe that employers are going to be willing to pay for this improvement in the workput or their productivity. Now, you'll be hearing from us, as well as several of our partners, which include internet service providers, IT service providers, conference call app suppliers, equipment vendors, and others during both the panel and the various testimonials that you'll hear during the course of this program. So we hope that you'll join us here at ASSIA and all our partners whom you will be seeing in improving all our workput with EQUIPE. So thank you again, Klaus.
Great, thank you so much for that, John. And we are gonna ask you to come back for the panel just a little bit later, right? So please stick around and join us again in a few minutes. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into the market strategy and really a lot of the thinking that went into the designing and developing of this product. And to do that, I'd like to welcome Tunchai Chil, Chief Strategy Officer at ASSIA, frequent speaker at Wi-Fi Now events, and an expert in AI-driven networking. Welcome, Tunchai. And I think the first thing we're going to do here is run a presentation. It has been prepared, so let's just go ahead and run that. This will give you the deeper insights here.
What really changed for the work environment over the last 6 months? Is work from home trend here to stay, or the lack of physical presence a hindrance? With this new normal, we see a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity for SMBs and enterprises, and a definite need for a more modern, distributed, and highly productive workforce. Hi, I'm Tuncay Chil, Chief Strategy Officer at ASSIA. In a short moment, I will explain our vision for the future of office work, introduce our new work-from-home platform, and explain how we create value for the SMB and enterprise solutions ecosystem. First, let's do the numbers on the market trend. About 25 million people in the US already worked from home at least once a week before the pandemic. This is 16% of the working population, and 6% was doing this full-time already. The average income level of this group was significantly above the US average, so it's safe to say that teleworking was a sign of affluence back then. Let's go back to March 2020. In a matter of weeks, 20 million jobs disappeared and the remaining became primarily remote. According to Gartner HR survey, employers transitioned 60 to 80% of their workforce to work from home during the pandemic. Now that we know what's happening, let's speculate about the future a bit. Most research organizations are projecting 40 to 50% of the working population to remain working from home after the pandemic. ASSIA takes the low end of these projections and assumes 55 million people will be working from home post-pandemic. Now, this is more than double the number pre-pandemic levels. Beyond the health concerns of the pandemic, there are long-term drivers for a permanent remote work. Reduction in office-related expenses, payroll savings, increase in worker productivity, expansion of global workforce, and easy access to global labor markets. The simplest of these forces is the cost savings associated with not paying for office costs. Roughly speaking, in the US, this is projected at an annual expense of $10,000 or more per employee. Another driver is the gains in productivity derived from remote work. A Harvard Business School study found a 4 to 5% net gain to work productivity when employees work from home on their own schedule. Part of this is attributed to a decrease in draining activities such as commuting into the office, but the gains are also associated with modern practices related to the workday. When the employee is no longer expected at his desk in one continuous block, the employer nets productivity gains. We are also seeing that removing location as a qualification factor for getting and keeping a job makes it easier for employers to maintain a larger pool of employees. This includes the reintroduction of employees that may have exited the workforce due to office culture and location. Continuing with that point, access to a distributed workforce allows the employer to reduce some of their payroll costs. Employers with a remote population can expect an average 5 to 10% payroll savings due to hiring employees with a lower cost of living. Consider an employee living in Detroit compared to one in San Francisco. To match the purchasing power of the employee in Detroit, the salary requirements of the San Franciscan are doubled. When we think of all these factors on a global scale, we see a major opportunity for employers to build a modern and distributed workforce. Based on some of the factors we covered, the US, Canada, parts of Europe, and high personal income regions of Asia-Pac are all viable environments for high adoption of work from home. There are roughly 1 billion people in this cohort with similar characteristics, including the level of economic development, high personal and corporate income level, infrastructure availability, and cultural openness to remote work. 8 of these regions make up over 80% of the numbers. The United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and some higher personal income regions of Asia-Pac are among this 8. We covered a lot of ground. Let's simplify our learnings. There are about 1 billion people living in the countries which we think are ready for permanent remote work. There are 400 million workers in these countries, and we estimate that 160 million of them will be our target for permanent remote work. By adopting work-from-home friendly policies, employers can realize $50,000 to $100,000 in economic gain per employee over the next 5 years. With 160 million possible remote workers, we are looking at multi-trillion dollars in value creation over the next 5 years. But there are many obstacles to achieving high work productivity at home. New usage patterns and quality of experience problems have emerged within weeks from the stay-at-home orders. Overall, average daily data traffic surpassed the highest traffic levels of the previous years. Upload connectivity volumes have doubled to unsustainable levels. To date, especially on cable networks, even the highest data plans do not offer a stable uplink during rush hours of daily internet traffic. Wi-Fi connectivity at home has also suffered. Interference levels have gone up, and there's been a rush to upgrade the home network infrastructure by consumers. Overall, more than half of the population still experience some level of problems with internet connectivity in a given month. About 15% of the population experiences daily issues, and about 8.4% has severe connectivity issues. To sum up, we see way too many people having connectivity problems while trying to work from home in the US and Europe. In order to achieve this new normal of high productivity across the world, we need to get ready for the prime time. And to do our part, we have built industry's first SMB and enterprise-focused work-from-home platform. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you our new work-from-home platform, EQUIPE.
To work from home as a productive team without connectivity issues, with peace of mind. Introducing EQUIPE. Higher worker productivity, better connected remote teams. Because one bad connection means a decrease in productivity for the entire organization. EQUIPE brings visibility and reliability to essential collaborative business applications. The industry's first enterprise and SMB IT tool for managing residential connections. The platform seamlessly pre-integrates with an ecosystem of ISPs, enterprise tools, and applications. The new normal starts with a strong connection. Learn how you can be a part of the EQUIPE ecosystem.
Wow, that's great. And some great perspectives there. And congratulations with the new product. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go now to our panel of experts and get their view on all of this. So first, I'd like to introduce them. From Citrix, the VP of Products is Shalan Eras. Shalan, welcome to the event.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to join you today.
Great to have you. And from CenturyLink, it's VP of Access Architecture and Garbleman. Glenn, are you with us?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, and great to see you as well. So let's talk about opportunities and challenges, and let's just go straight into the opportunities first. So the question is, what are the opportunities related to work from home, related to this work from home trend for ISPs? So Glenn, maybe I can go to you first as a ISP representative from CenturyLink. Would you like to try to have a go at that?
Yeah, so some of the opportunities, that I see, obviously, I think John and may have seen some of my notes before, because some of the opportunities are actually in there with the enhanced services and the opportunities for work from home, right? I mean, and as I think about it, when I look at it, I look at really two different things. Number one is device, and the other one is traffic. And so when I think about the first opportunity, that's what I probably bubble up as an opportunity for us to take a look at in prioritization.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Shalan, you want to maybe comment on that? So we're talking about the opportunities right now.
Yeah, I would say that the opportunity has dramatically jumped starting in March. If you look at what happened with the pandemic, the first priority was toilet paper. Second was, how do you work from home? And that really forced many enterprises to think about, in a panic mode, how do we move people to work from home? And then how do we deliver a great experience for them, and a consistent experience for their roles? And there are certain roles that absolutely need a consistent network such that they can have, interactions like this. And in their case, it may be even more important. For example, they may be talking to a patient, or they may be doing a CEO broadcast on a major network. and you see all of these being used even on the top channels. So the experience of delivering a great work from home environment, whether it's network, whether it's device, whether it's prioritization, quality of service, all of that has come to fore, and with huge volume. Our expectation is that the peak may abate because there are, of course, desires to go back to work. If you listen to Netflix's CEO, he said, "Hey, when do you plan to go to work?" And he said, the day after they introduced the vaccine. So there clearly is pent-up demand to go back to the offices. But our expectation is that this will be a very different mode of work rather than compared to what we had pre-pandemic. People will be working at work. They may go back home. They may be more flexible. They may be waiting for the next broadcast from Dr. Fauci. So there are going to be many different situations where people will need to work from home or want to work from home. So we expect this to be to continue. Right.
And only thing I'd really add, and I know this is primarily focused on work from home, but distance learning is a piece of that as well. So that is rolled into this as well, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm speaking to you now, and I have my wife is in another room doing her job on video, and I have 2 daughters on video connections right now. So we're living that dream of work and school from home as we speak.
Yep.
Very good. John, Chofi, would you like to comment on the opportunity? I know you had a few things to say about that also before, but go ahead.
Well, I think the pandemic accelerated this one. It's always been there, and this opportunity to tune the network performance to applications, application-specific metrics like workput can be applied across a spectrum of different things like remote learning, telemedicine, as mentioned. We see, however, the employer opportunity as the one that maybe has the greatest chance to increase revenues in the near term. In fact, Phil Bednarz, who you'll be hearing from later today about EQUIPE, is also in charge of our engineering group. And he tells me he would be happy to pay $50 a month for every employee to have a better experience. They're not losing them during the teleconferences when they're trying to work together. And we think other employers also have that same reaction. And this would be new revenue, as opposed to trying to get more for entertainment or other types of applications, which has been more difficult for internet service providers, the revenues being somewhat flat. So we think this one may be a driver for all the rest, and that's why we want to get out in front of it.
Yeah, one observation that we've had actually is, at least in Silicon Valley, many employers offer reimbursement for commute. There's a stipend for commute, or they run buses, which is an expense. So whether it's $50 or thereabouts for this type of cost, there's already some money in many employers' budgets for some form of employee benefit for accommodating where they live. So we do think that budget-wise, there's room in many employer budgets, and considering other savings, that whatever the number is, as long as it's sub $100, depending on the level, we do think there's an opportunity for this.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit also about the challenges, right? So clearly there are challenges to this work from home trend. What would you say? Maybe we can go to Glenn first. What would you say are the most significant that you would point out? Glenn, you need to unmute. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I think, I'll use my own use case, right? And one of the challenges is, we've got a, home network, right? And traditionally in my own home network is, IoT, I do a little bit of emails, some surfing, some gaming, and a few other things, right? And so now over the connection that we're actually talking on, I mean, this is full-time work for me and has been since March. And so that sets us up into a hybrid type of a service environment, right? So one of the challenges is just that has changed, right? From being, previously maybe, Saturday night or Sunday, I'd plug in, grab onto the VPN, download some emails, get work, get a little bit ahead of work. Now this is just, 24/7, the actual work connection, and it's combined with the home experience that was previously stated. So I think that's one of the things that the environment has changed on us dramatically, and we need to respond to that.
Mhm. Sean, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I would say that, we have a lot of employees ourselves, so we are able to measure the experience. And we have actually products, we've had products for many years that we call Workspace that are used in both in office locations and of course from home. So we have a lot of telemetry. And we do see that the last mile network as well as the last meter network, the Wi-Fi network are real issues. I think the pandemic exacerbated that. So we do see opportunities, for example, of course, there's the sharing of the Wi-Fi, but we do think that there's a separate Wi-Fi signal opportunity also to say, if this person's a really critical worker, why are they still sharing the Wi-Fi at home? Why not another signal, not just as a SSID that provides better performance as well as a secure connection to work? So there are many nuances in how to deal with the home environment, but the underlying challenge is, again, a lot more usage, a lot more simultaneous usage, and a lot more simultaneous usage of high-value traffic like voice and video. So it's a triple challenge that we're dealing with, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Right. And one thing I would say to that, though, introducing another signal, can bring in that interference, which is why earlier I mentioned I wonder what could be done in a device, on a per device. Right. If you have a work laptop, that would be something you would elevate, as in certain periods of time during the day, and it could fluctuate based on the need. That's one of the things that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we've seen those types of approaches as well, and they all add value. So there's nothing. Each of these have different value at different points. So for critical workers, like for example doctors, we do see that detecting a work laptop and work equipment, maybe even radiology equipment that's given to home, and giving that additional priority could be as an example of a solution. So yeah, there's definitely a problem to be solved, and the problem is not going away.
Yep.
John, perhaps go ahead and comment a little bit for us on what you see are the challenges.
Well, you heard a couple of them, and I'll summarize. One was the prioritization of the work from home data, 2 devices that are being used for that, and that's certainly part of our EQUIPE product and strategy. And the second item was having a second path, whether that's the Wi-Fi in the home or that is the quote unquote fixed line connection to the home. Both of them are sources, from what we can see, significant sources in both cases of problems. For instance, cable networks with the upstream bandwidth having increased, even buying business class service does not fix that problem. So it needs to be targeted in the learning algorithms to actually improve this component that's related to the employee's productivity. We call it workput. So I understand that, and we're targeting our efforts and our expertise towards solving that real problem that will result in real financial value to employers, and then of course to the entire ecosystem, including the companies like Citrix and CenturyLink and others who will be involved in this.
Very good. So I also have a few additional questions, perhaps, and I think John, you nearly already brought up this question, and I'm gonna pose it to, I think, Glenn, because there's perhaps something to be said for teleworkers buying business grade solutions, right? So why don't teleworkers buy business grade solutions from the carriers? Would this solve the problem, do you think?
Certainly want to learn more about it, Klaus, honestly, but, for where I see right now, it has potential to.
Okay. And John, so perhaps just quickly back to you, in terms of the innovation and experience that ASSIA brings to this, can you say a little bit about that from what your experience is in this field for those out there that don't know ASSIA so well?
Yes, well, we collect massive amounts of data from 100 million connections, 500 million devices out there subtended by those connections every day, every 15 minutes, sometimes faster than that, down to second level of collection. So we see a lot, and we learn from that data. There's a lot of analytics, data science that goes into determining whether a end user, a customer, is happier or contented with that particular service. That's our expertise, is learning that. And then our special expertise is adapting the controls on the links basically to improve that measure that we've just taken. And that's what we do in our main products, but now we're tuning that to work productivity, which is a little bit different than the normal metrics. And it's why some of the business class solutions are not providing an improvement in teleconferencing and other things that are commonplace now in the work from home new normal.
So, Shalan, how would you say businesses would know that they're getting value when they actually pay for employee connectivity? Is there a way of knowing that?
Well, I mean, there are businesses are expecting two types of, call it, value. One is the experience, which we've talked a lot about, and the other one is security. Because when you're working from home, you are subject to other security risks that are less present, or at least are more accounted for in a business location. So a secure connection, a device that's hardened for outside penetration are actually important in this case, because normal home devices are really not that. I mean, they're not designed for the ultimate hacker to be hacked. And if you look at businesses, if you can get into one device, you can sometimes have keys to the kingdom, and there are many breaches that have occurred in many companies because of that. So relative to experience, many of the features that you saw in the EQUIPE video, our products have similar capabilities in the sense that being able to measure what the application experience is important. So we value what ASSIA has put together there, and ultimately what IT cares about is my application working. It's not just whether YouTube videos are working, but is my business application working? So having specific information on the top revenue generating application is the most important part, I think, for a business. And also security, being able to audit, being able to manage, being able to have a secure connection, and being able to have a device that's certified for, call it, and not being penetrable. Those are the things that they do care about, because one security risk is very expensive.
Very, very good. And I want to thank all of our panelists for coming on today. And I think those are all excellent insights. So thank you, Shalan. Thank you, Glenn. And of course, John Chofi as well. Thank you. Thanks to all. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to dig deeper into the inner workings of the platform, the secret sauce, if you like. So to answer those questions, to find out exactly how this thing is built, I'm delighted to introduce Executive VP of Engineering at ASSIA, Mr. Phil Bednarz. And I believe Phil has collected his thoughts in the form of a presentation that we're actually going to run right now.
So what has really changed in the work from home environment? 6 months ago, most of your employees were collaborating in person, working efficiently with processes that were developed in a time when in-person contact was assumed to be easy. Now they're working through online platforms. Well, there you have one example of what has changed. Now collaboration between your employees depends on reliable communications. And what's more, the effectiveness of that communication is dominated by the weakest link. My technical difficulties a moment ago impacted the effectiveness of this entire group. Monitoring our ability to collaborate, finding connectivity issues that prevent us from collaborating effectively, and ultimately solving those issues is what EQUIPE is about. I am Phil Bednarz, and I am Executive Vice President of Engineering and Operations at ASSIA. I'm going to take you on a short tour of the EQUIPE platform and show you some of the ways we look at connectivity management and productivity management in the work-from-home era. It all starts with a new way of looking at connectivity and user experience we call workput. ASSIA is a leader in network management and optimization of residential internet user quality of experience, or QoE. QoE measures the application user's satisfaction or happiness with the service they are getting. While we would like to get direct user feedback all the time as a way of monitoring the service, that's not practical. Instead, we take occasional, simple feedback from users who give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down on their connectivity, and then we apply our deep knowledge of communication systems to machine learning algorithms for predicting QoE based on underlying quality of service parameters. Connectivity quality of service parameters are things like data rates, packet error loss, signal strength. These QoS parameters are readily sampled and when processed correctly, accurately predict a user's quality of experience. WorkPut takes these ideas another step. We recognize that in a real-time collaborative environment, like a video conferencing application, my quality of experience depends not only on my connectivity, but on the connectivity of the group I'm interacting with. Bad connectivity of one employee impacts the productivity of all others. WorkPut is then an AI model that learns the true impact of an individual's bad connectivity across the entire team. More than just lost time, poor connectivity impacts worker morale, frustration, and overall effectiveness. WorkPut helps monitor and manage the ability of dispersed teams to collaborate effectively. Ultimately, EQUIPE takes actions or makes recommendations to improve connectivity, and the result is better WorkPut and a happier, more effective team. Okay, so we've established that in the collaborative work-from-home environment, poor connectivity impacts not just a single home worker, but rather it has a multiplier effect that impacts the effectiveness of the overall team. EQUIPE provides a set of tools not found in a typical residential service that work together to provide a higher grade of service for the home worker. First, EQUIPE provides the capability to select a set of work-from-home devices using a simple smartphone application. The connectivity of these devices are prioritized above residential devices during work-from-home hours on both the Wi-Fi and broadband networks. On the Wi-Fi side, the system automatically steers residential and telework devices to access points and bands best suited for prioritized performance. The system also establishes airtime policies that ensure work-from-home devices get sufficient throughput. Furthermore, the user can give simple thumbs up and thumbs down feedback on performance. That feedback can be signaled either through the EQUIPE smartphone app or via plugins on popular collaboration platforms. The system takes this user feedback and evaluates quality of service parameters in real time to make further adjustments. Here is one of the places where the WorkPut concept comes in. Rather than just looking at quality of service parameters on a home-by-home basis, the platform is integrated with APIs from popular collaboration tools such that the system knows when a work-from-home device is online with other work-from-home devices. When one user gives a thumbs down on performance, the system checks all collaborating users to see if something needs to be changed on their home network. This is an important part of optimizing for team effectiveness. Sometimes my bad quality of experience is caused by issues on your network. Pinpointing and resolving those issues is key to improving WorkPut. EQUIPE also protects the user QoE on the broadband side. The system manages a secondary WAN interface which can provide broadband redundancy or load balancing via either LTE modem or a secondary wireline interface. The use of the secondary WAN is optimized to maximize WorkPut while managing bandwidth costs on the secondary connection. All of these capabilities are visible and supervised through an IT administrator dashboard. A key concept with EQUIPE is that your employees should be focused on their work and they should not be dealing with IT problems, just like they would not be dealing with IT problems if they were still in the office. Today, enterprise IT administrators have a number of tools available to them in order to remotely diagnose application and service issues, but they all require connectivity to the remote desktop. EQUIPE fills this gap by providing the enterprise IT administrator with visibility into the remote working side of the residential network. Here's a peek at what the IT administrator sees. This screen is a view into connectivity for Ben, a work-from-home employee. Ben has a DSL service at home from CenturyLink and has a standby LTE failover modem with T-Mobile service. Central to the screen is Ben's WorkPut over the past couple of days. Here we can see that except for a couple of good spots late at night, Ben's WorkPut is struggling, and it is impacted by the quality of both his broadband and Wi-Fi network. We also get a summary of Ben's teleconferences over the past couple of days. He is collaborating with colleagues frequently, and the direct thumbs up, thumbs down feedback on his conferences is only average. There's a lot of information here, but we can quickly get some recommendations on Ben's service without diving into a lot of diagnostics and data. The first recommendation is that the system is finding upstream congestion during times when Ben is on a teleconference. Sticking with the theme that this is an employee enterprise problem and not a residential service problem, the system provides the capability for the IT admin to upgrade service on behalf of the employee. Leveraging the type of integration ASSIA has done with many carriers around the world, the system is capable of initiating a service should an appropriate service be available. Another recommendation is simply to activate the WAN 2 failover modem, which will cut to LTE service not only when WAN 1 fails, but also when Ben is experiencing low workput due to WAN 1 upstream issues. Let me also highlight that Ben's workput is also impacted by his Wi-Fi performance. In this case, EQUIPE is prioritizing his work-from-home device, but it is suggesting that a Wi-Fi extender will benefit the experience. Again, the system can be integrated with carrier systems such that the enterprise IT administrator can order the extender on behalf of the employee. Important for the remote worker is also the connectivity performance to services the enterprise uses. EQUIPE can be configured to test connectivity to a number of common platforms from the user's home. In this case, we have examples of Slack and Teams, but also a corporate VPN service for the remote worker. In all these cases, the system is testing connectivity and generating quality of experience scores so that the IT admin can pinpoint issues. Let's flip now to the Connections tab for Ben's service. Here are more details about Ben's WAN connections, as well as performance all the way to his work-from-home devices. Here, the IT admin can initiate real-time connectivity tests and take a variety of remote actions on equipment to resolve issues. We also get a log of teleconference events Ben has been participating in. Maybe most interesting is the pane in the upper right, where we see a list of employees most negatively impacting Ben's workput on teleconferences. In fact, here we see that some of Ben's poor workput can be attributed to connectivity problems with Brian and Linda. The IT admin can then investigate those users, solve issues, and improve the overall workput of the team. Jumping to a team view, we can see aggregate statistics across all employees. Workput is still central to the overall health of the remote team, and the example here is a typical situation where workput is high early and late in the day, but during the middle of the day, workput falls as employees compete with other residential users for in-home and WAN bandwidth. In addition to aggregate statistics, the team view allows the IT admin to get an ordered list of employees with poor workput. The IT admin can investigate poor performance and follow recommendations on an employee-by-employee basis. Alternatively, policies can be established where the system will automatically prompt the IT admin for approval of recommendations based on the system discovering issues. This is especially useful for larger organizations when there may be tens or hundreds of employees that need some type of upgrade now that they are working from home a significant portion of the time. Let's turn and talk a bit about the architecture for the EQUIPE platform. Within the home, EQUIPE runs on certified Wi-Fi gateway hardware and Wi-Fi extenders and supports several secondary WAN options. ASSIA works with a variety of equipment providers to ensure a consistent user experience. The work-from-home employee interacts with the system via a smartphone application or via plugins on popular collaboration platforms. The EQUIPE hardware continually reports status and is controlled through a set of cloud services, which include the Workput Predictor and Monitor, Wi-Fi device management, including telework device prioritization, multi-WAN management, including controls and policies for failover and load balancing, and a recommendation engine linked to upgraded services to improve employee productivity. EQUIPE provides a scalable user interface for enterprise IT administrators and can also provide API services for field technicians and third-party support organizations. The system can be linked to the service provider customer care organization should the enterprise IT admin elect to escalate an issue. This provides a unified view of performance and issues for faster trouble resolution and leverages ASSIA's experience in carrier network management and optimization systems. Thanks for coming on this brief tour of EQUIPE. We at ASSIA are looking forward to making work from home an effective and frustration-free experience for employees and companies everywhere.
Wow, there's really a lot going on there. It's super impressive. And I think what we're going to do now is we're going to invite Tunchai back. Tunchai has some comments, I think, and some remarks regarding the ecosystem aspect of this, the partnership aspect. As we saw Phil present towards the end, you are obviously partnering with some folks, some companies in order to get this to market, right?
Yes, thank you, Klaus. So with EQUIPE, we put together a very unique solutions ecosystem with the hardware partnerships, with ISP provided services, enterprise IT support tool pre-integrations, cybersecurity VPN type of service integrations, also 24/7 on-call support services, home technician dispatch options. We put together a platform, and the value of this platform, at least in our vision, is we're breaking the silos of the enterprise support world and the residential world. We believe this is what's needed for the hybrid environment. And this will create work productivity efficiencies for the employers, which we've explored, and also peace of mind for the work from home employee. And what this means is basically high productivity in itself as well. And it is true, we did forge some really high profile partnerships, and we will be announcing these partnerships as we start deploying the first systems in the field. So please stay tuned. But I'd like to comment on the general value of this partnership. So this ecosystem is all about revenue creation for the partners. So this can be realized through our own channels or vice versa. And we're basically building this ecosystem brick by brick. And we would love to hear from the audience. We'd love to explore how we can together make the work from home experience a better one for everybody. And also explore how we can create new revenue streams. So I'd like to thank everybody for attending, for listening to us, taking the time from their busy days. And please, you can contact us at equipe.ai to continue the conversation. So thank you also, Klaus, for putting together this event.
And you're so welcome, and it's a delight for me to be part of this. I think this is really exciting stuff, and congratulations on a great new product. Really appreciate you all being here. All right. Okay, that's it, folks. We are nearly done. I want to thank, of course, all of our great speakers for their insights, including, of course, the good folks from ASSIA and our excellent panelists as well. And if you want to know more, as Tunchai just said, about the EQUIPE platform, then make sure you go to www.equipe.ai for all the details. Also, don't forget that ASSIA, as Tunchai Sil, will be with many other Wi-Fi industry luminaries. He will be speaking at this year's virtual Wi-Fi World Congress that kicks off end of September, in fact, specifically September 29th, and lasts until October 8th. It is absolutely free to stream the entire conference. Just go to wifinowglobal.com for all the details. Thank you for watching, and come back and see us again soon. Thanks a lot.
The new normal starts with a strong connection. Learn how you can be a part of the EQUIPE ecosystem.